You're Bono?
Yeah, I'm Bono.
All right. All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Kinguin Pro League Day 2. We are done with 2 matches today. Actually, 2 sweeps, I believe, right?
Yeah, two
That was
sweeps,
actually pretty...
unbelievable.
Yeah, that was actually pretty quick. So that's that. A majority of matches have ended up in sweeps in this tournament so far than have not. We have like 4 sweeps, or is it 5 sweeps?
Now it's
To
well, we had
Five sweeps to
two on
4,
Tuesday, right? Two on
I
Tuesday
believe.
and two today, so that's
So it's equal.
four
All right.
sweeps. Yeah,
So 4 sweeps to 4 non-sweeps. So that's pretty interesting because the tiebreaker scores for a lot of players will be lower than I expected. Again, this is a round-robin format with conquest. So the loser gets to keep their deck if they want to, but the winner, after winning with one deck, has to pick another one, which forces people to bring decks that are probably good against a variety of decks, as opposed to the counter-pick system of a last hero standing. So next game is going to be a team kill game. Lifecoach versus RDU.
yeah. Lifecoach against RDU, and it's quite lucky that we had two sweeps. I mean, because now Lifecoach will be playing, so we're kind of ahead of schedule, and
Okay, so
Lifecoach
he's
will
taking other
balance
people's
it
ropes.
out, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, when you have Dog and Lifecoach in the same tournament, it's really like weird because Dog is a very quick player,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes excessively so, and Lifecoach is at the very opposite end. He will take
Yeah.
a rope at the very beginning of the
Yeah.
game, just
It's
thinking
like
many turns ahead and just like focusing for this is it. It's a dark force.
exactly.
You don't know it, but he controls where the cards go in the deck. He moves them around with his mind. I suspect that's what he does a lot of the time. So before we jump into the games, I'd like to remind you that despite the fact that this is not a charity event, this is Kinguin Pro League and it's not Kinguin for charity, we're still working in conjunction with Child's Play Foundation. So if you want to donate for that foundation, feel free to do so. You can click in the links under the stream and check it out. It is a foundation that aims to bring games to children in hospital to make their time there a little easier. So if you were to donate, you'd make somebody really happy out there, so that'd be really cool. So yeah, consider it at least. It's a good cause.
Yeah, that would be really sweet of you guys
Mhm.
and girls.
And
'Cause I
girls,
bet
of course.
many girls are watching. We have
Yeah, I'm
like
sure Anita Sarkeesian is watching this.
over 20,000 people are watching us right now. So quite a crowd, I have
Yeah.
to say, for a almost weekly broadcast.
Yeah, it's the first time we're going to be doing this. This is the first week of the Kinguin Pro League. It's going to go on for 10 weeks, so I hope you guys are going to be back with us next week as well. So we have 3 more matches today. The next one up, as I said, Lifecoach versus RD. Both players brought Druid. So Lifecoach's lineup is actually containing 2 out of 3 staple classes that we mentioned earlier. Druid, Mage, and Warlock. And RDU is bringing Druid, Hunter, and Rogue, which is, coincidentally, the exact same lineup that Dog is bringing.
Yeah, that's very true. And well, the RDU had this advantage that he knows that he's playing against Lifecoach, so most likely he will be paired against a handlock at some point. So I'm really wondering if he did build accordingly to this idea. They didn't test anything inside the team for that because it's a team kill, so
Yeah.
they weren't testing that specific match. So we'll have to see how it will go. I'm curious myself because I wasn't even supervising this.
Okay, well, I'm actually like I've met RDU, and from what I gather, he's a very thoughtful player when it comes to building his lineups.
Yeah.
Almost more so than anyone else. He just keeps talking about it, how he's brought the best lineup to this tournament. He's got like the best lineup for this. He's gonna totally win it, and he always speaks of that. So
Well,
he definitely
always
built his
speaks much.
lineup for that. Yeah, I know, but I mean that's kind of his personality trait. He's kind of
Yeah.
he's likable for that, I guess. Lifecoach, a little bit more silent in general.
Yeah, well, Lifecoach puts value in his in the words he's speaking. So
Yeah, that's right. So, what do you think of these lineups? Because they both have Druid. I have to expect some kind of. Do you think Lifecoach is going to be playing some more of a toned Druid, perhaps?
nah, I don't think so.
Or is-
Both players are kind of aggressive. I mean, maybe not in every single deck style, but they know when to turn the tide. Like,
Okay.
When to push for tempo, when to push for board control, when to push for damage. And I think Druid is one of the classes that you can like abuse in this type of strategy because you have so many ways of turning the tide like around. You have the innervate, you have the combo. Even if just single-handedly the force of nature can twist the game 180 around.
Yeah, you can be on the back foot and then suddenly put your opponent in a defensive position, having to deal with your minions every turn, if only because you're threatening lethal. Not even because you have it necessarily, but just because the threat is there. It's kind of looming over the extra 14 damage plus whatever minions on the board. So that is actually a true point. Like this is actually true of Druids. They're very good at punishing players when the board state is a little on the fence for both players.
Of course, there's a breaking point for Druid when they almost have no way of going back from a game when like your opponent has 5 creatures with more than 2 points of health. Like an example, Paladin just played Masterful Battle and Quartermaster. Druid has almost no way of turning that around.
Yeah.
Even double swipe. Well, okay, double swipe with Azure Drake on board. That's one of the things you can do, but basically apart from that,
yeah, but it's not very consistent. And Starfall is a card that they do have, but it's just not played much. So yeah, they do have a blind spot when you're playing against something like a Zoo deck. Actually, that's probably a good example. A Zoo deck would probably be, if they have sticky minions with high enough health, that's a problem for Druid unless they get a really good start. And if they're not teching against that specific type of deck, they're going to get rolled over very quickly.
Yep, I agree. The best strategies against Druids is just to flood the board, and when you think about it, it's the same when you play Rogue against Druid. You want to get those Farseers, those agents, those Violet Teachers, because those are the creatures that are pushing Druid to reply. To find a answer. There are only 2 refs. There are no weapons, like no Fury Winx to kill off the Farseers and agents. And when you think about it, a 5 HP minion is really hard to deal with for Druid.
They have to use their hero power with a swipe, with a Keeper of the Grove and a Rat. They have to do a lot of work to actually get those minions out of the way. The Mage from Lifecoach, do you think that's more of a control mage or mech? Because I don't know him as a mech mage player. I personally don't know him much. I just know that he's a pretty... He likes to play slower decks in general. He knows when to turn the tide in mid-range, but mech mage isn't really a mid-range deck in any way.
Well, his winning lineup from Kinguin for Charty was Mage, Warlock, Paladin.
Okay.
And the Mage was Mech Mage. I think Lifecoach opinion is that Mech Mage is the best deck in current metagame, so he wants to abuse it.
Okay, so Mech Mage as a mid-range, like an aggressive mid-range deck is probably like his best. He thinks is the best deck. All right. Yep. I guess it's kind of the equivalent of Druid, where Druid punishes you easily as a mid-range slower deck. Mech Mage punishes you the other way around, where they're a bit more on the aggressive side, but still not overly so like Face Hunter.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's true.
I kind of like that.
It's not so polarized, I think.
Yeah, but I do like the lineup of Lifecoach, because Handlock can be either. It's one of the most consistent decks, by the way, honestly, because it's a deck that you can actually make aggressive if you're playing it properly. You can actually just use your Ancient Watchers, for instance, as an aggressive tool as opposed to a defensive one. It's a lot less straightforward to play, I think, than Demon Lock.
Oh yeah, definitely. And Lifecoach is known for being the best Handlock player in Hearthstone. So
okay.
I think he has to bring it, but the problem is it's so easy to counter Handlock. The other question is, will RDU even do this? Like maybe Lifecoach will mind game him and not bring the Warlock, and then RDU will be like, oh crap, I just brought 3 decks with 2 Big Game Hunters each, and what do I do now?
You don't bring Warlock. Yeah, I don't know if RD, like, this is a conquest format, so obviously bringing 2 decks that counter pick is not exactly the best idea. As far as RDU's rogue goes, it's probably going to be an oil rogue. I don't really see anything else in the metagame nowadays. We do see variants on oil rogue. It's a deck that can be easily adapted to counter something more aggressive or slower decks that don't have Harrison Jones with something like an Assassin's Blade. There's many ways to adapt a oil rogue deck to the metagame. That's one of the strengths of the deck, I think.
Yeah, but funny enough, RDU brought a kind of old stylish aggressive rogue to Hearthstone with Argent Squires and Cold Bloods and
Nerubian's
and Nerubian's Ambushers.
Okay, I like that. That's a pretty cool twist on rogue.
Yeah, it was like I don't know if it was a one-trick pony, and then you just ditch it after the tournament, because it just catches the opponents by surprise, you know.
Yeah, kind of like that paladin from Colento.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah. That might be. It would be nice if you brought it. I don't even think Lifecoach would expect something like this, even knowing RDU.
Yep.
Because RDU is just like a really all-around solid player. He's just good at he's pretty good at every deck, honestly. It's not like I can't really pin him on a specific deck that I think. Although I would have said a while back that Freeze Mage would have been like one of his biggest strengths, but it's not exactly a deck you see much nowadays, and he didn't bring it. So I suspect he's just a really good all-around player. So this should be kind of an exciting series. We're currently waiting, and this is gonna be funny. We're currently waiting on Lifecoach, as you might imagine, before we can start this game.
Well, whatever he is doing right now, he's roping.
Yeah. So, well, I'm going to go over the format just in case. Not the format, but the groups and the way the tournament is set up. We have 2 groups, 10 players in each group. It's a round-robin format. Ergo, it's the most skill-demanding tournament to win because you have 9 other players to face in best-of-5s in a conquest format. The tournament takes place over 10 weeks. So the players whom you see today, will be back. And they will keep playing. So if they lose today, for instance, if RDU loses to Lifecoach right now, it's not the biggest deal. He can just come back and, you know, he has 8 more matches to go to get a good score. So the top 3 players in each group will move on to the playoffs. So the first player in each group will be in the, you know, semifinals directly. Second and third would battle in the quarterfinals. 4th to 7th will be re-invited in the Season 2 of Kinguin Pro League. And the last 3 slots, so 8 to 10, will be knocked out of the tournament and will not be re-invited for Season 2. And those spots would actually be open through qualifiers. So anyone who wishes to participate can actually apply to get into to qualify through the qualifiers and get through and enter the Kinguin Season 2, which will actually pit you against, well, I guess all the players that we have minus 6, because those will be out. So you'll have 14 top-level players. Gives you a chance to be in the spotlight, which if you're an aspiring, you know, Hearthstone pro, is probably a good opportunity.
Yeah, very true. That's one of the occasions when you can push your foot into the door of the pro scene here in Hearthstone. So, really looking forward to the new players going to play here at Season 2 of Kinguin Pro League. But that's still far away. We have 8 more weeks of, well, actually 9 more weeks of play of the group stages, and then it's still the playoffs. And the first place of each group will be advancing directly to the semifinals of the playoffs, which is also important. So the players have the motivation to take the lead of the group here.
Yeah, they have an incentive to actually make sure that their deck every week is adapted to the metagame, if it has evolved at all. And also a really strong point of the format, because it's Conquest, it allows you, once you see the deck lists of the players, once they're revealed, you can actually use those on ladder right away. And that's a really strong point of it, because, you know, the last man standing format wasn't exactly the most viewer-friendly thing as far as, you know, taking the decks and bringing them to ladder. A lot of those decks weren't even viable on ladder because they were tournament decks and tailored around specifically that. There is some tournament aspect to the decks that we see now, but they're not as, you know, polarized as they would have been in the past.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like when Warlock was the best class, you could have just straightforward ban Warlock every single time, and you could have built your decks accordingly to that, so you can avoid, like, you know, having mass removal or playing around giants, an example. So you could even cut big game hunters from most of your decks, and so on. So it was really important to bring a new format to the tournaments that will be pushing players, the pro players and the viewers, like, to the same point when they can relate to each other.
Yeah, and I really like that. I think it kind of how do you say that? Like, it popularizes, democratizes the Hearthstone tournament scene.
Unifies the scene.
Unifies the scene. There you go. See, that's a much nicer word. I'll keep that in mind. So you've got we have the lineups. Apparently, RDU is going to be picking his Rogue first, and Lifecoach decides to pick his Warlock.
Warlock. Oh wow! So this might be either way. Actually, this might go either way, because Rogue, as we said before, in the first match between Kaldi and Reynard, handlock might give problems. to the rogue. The Twilight Drake is one of the creatures that if he hits 9 points of HP, that's the point where when rogue has really many problems to deal that kind of damage at one swing. Like, you know, you have Foul Nose, Backstab, Eviscerate. That's 8.
Yeah.
An example.
You have to spend so many cards to deal with one creature, and they have a second one to follow up. It's already problematic. And now if you stack the Sludge Belchers on top of that, you don't run BGH in that deck, so generally Giants come down and you still have to deal with them the same way that you had to deal with the Twilight Drake, so they become just another high health body at that point. And eventually, if they have a good curve, if the Warlock gets the cards they want, it's very, very tough. And it doesn't help that the Farseers and the SI7s are in the range of Hellfire.
Yeah, exactly. And most of the decks are now playing 2 Hellfires instead of 1 as the old style handlocks, just because of the popularity of Mech Mage.
Yeah, Mech Mage really forces you know, Handlock to, or even Warlocks in general, not even just Handlock, but to put 2 Hellfires to make sure that if the early game gets out of hand, those Mech Warpers are going to be thrown off. Even a Piloted Shredder will get thrown off by a Hellfire. So no matter what they've put up until this point, should be able to be dealt with a Hellfire. So I wouldn't be surprised if I saw Lifecoach playing, you know, the double Hellfire Handlock version. I think it makes a lot of sense.
If he didn't change his deck, you can even find it on Kinguin.net for charity, and just go there, click Lifecoach decks from Kinguin for charity and see what his handlock was like. Yeah. And I think that was the most refined Warlock that Lifecoach had ever brought to a tournament. So I think like he has to stick to it.
So Lifecoach apparently has to restart his PC, so even his computer is getting roped as we speak. So we were gonna cast, and then he says he has to restart his PC. So technical problems arising at the moment. RD is ready.
That can happen. Like we should be happy that we're not playing a game with teams. Imagine how many issues are arising when you have like a 5 versus 5 team match.
Yeah, but I'd like to see a like 2v2 in Hearthstone though. That'd be cool.
Really? Oh, yeah. You think so? That would be cool. I think it will be imbalanced as.
Oh, it will. No, you can't have tournaments with that. You cannot have tournaments with 2v2.
That would be super sweet though. Like
it would be like the,
you know, having teams actually playing to have teams actually be playing in tournaments under one brand would be really cool. But
you're right. You're right.
I just don't see it with Hearthstone. It was really hard even with you know, with Magic and World of Warcraft TCG. It was really hard to pull off because there was so many overpowered combos when you just could have combined 2 classes like no,
it breaks the game, but that's the point. Like you can't have tournaments with it though, unless the point of the tournament is to bring the most broken things possible to Hearthstone. But then again, the games might end way too fast or just be too boring because everything is stalled. So I think it would be fun, but maybe not as a tournament format. I don't think it would be like the serious Hearthstone format at all for tournament scene.
Maybe Blizzard will introduce like adventure modes with raids.
With co-op,
like,
okay,
yeah. You can just, you know, team up with your other people from friend lists and play to beat Ragnaros or Onyxia or whatever big creature. Blizzard
that could be kind of nice. Co-op PvE would be nice, but I mean, I can only imagine a double Warlock with Murloc's deck, like 2v2, and they're both running Murloc Zoo, and they both get an amazing start, and all of a sudden you get one shot by one drop.
But how would you even do the interface for that?
You'd have to just like split everything. It would look really wonky, is all I can tell you. It wouldn't be it wouldn't be aesthetic.
Too bad.
It'd be very aesthetic. Yeah, unfortunately. All right. Well, still waiting on Lifecoach's PC to stop roping. Yeah. It's kind of weird to fill the dead air here. You have any story? You know, I should probably do a trivia. Okay, wait. I'm gonna trivia you for a second here.
No way. I'm so bad at this.
Yeah?
Yeah, well, okay. You can try me, but I bet I will be like sitting and...
Okay, I'm gonna give you the same trivia I did for Monk last time until we could find something. Name me as many warrior cards as you can.
Okay, so Inner Rage, Cleave, Execute, Brawl, Shields Maiden, Floating Berserker, Warsaw Commander, Fiery War Axe, Depth Spite, Archon Reaper, Crush, Gromash, Battle Rage,
Okay, wow, I'm surprised you got that one. A lot of people just don't get it at all.
Commanding Shout.
Wow, all right. Are you watching some kind of...
No, I'm watching
Okay.
my street here. And how many cards I'm missing?
You're missing a few weapons.
Few weapons. Okay.
What did you say for weapons?
Ogre Wormhole
Okay.
and Gorhol
Yeah, there we go.
and Corcoran Elite, Taskmaster,
Yes.
Armor
Yes.
Smith.
Yes. Okay, you're not that bad. You're missing 2 minions here, I think. 3 minions, at least 3 minions, yeah.
So
4.
Screwjunk Clunker.
Okay, dude, you're good. You're good at this. Never mind. You're not that bad. I just have to ask you the battle cries afterwards, but you're doing pretty good so far. Keep going.
2 minions, you said.
I mean, which cards? Yeah.
Wait.
Okay, so you've said Cruel Taskmaster, Corkron, Armorsmith, Frothing, Screwjank, Shield
Yeah.
Maiden, Gromash.
Yeah.
You said Iron Juggernaut.
Shoots made in 2. Oh, Iron Juggernaut. Yeah, I missed that one. Yeah, I missed
Okay,
the Iron Juggernaut. Okay, did I miss anything else?
There's 3 more minions.
3 more minions.
Yeah.
A 3 more.
Okay, start at the
minions.
lowest mana curve.
Yeah, I'm thinking like 1 mana. There's there's Warbot
Yes, there we go.
and the 4/3/3 which gives a weapon.
Okay, I'm gonna give you, even if you don't know the name, doesn't matter. Arathi Weaponsmith.
Yeah, Arathi Weaponsmith.
Okay. Now you're missing 1. Missing 1 minion. Unless you said it and I skipped it, but I don't think so.
Okay, I give up. What's the card?
Siege Engine?
See what?
Siege Engine?
Oh, Siege Engine. All right, so
Nobody thinks of that one. Don't feel bad about it. It's like
Yeah.
the most irrelevant minion in the entire... I think in the entire game, almost. I thought it was going to be fun to play, but it's just not playable right now. It's pretty
Siege
solid in Arena,
Engine.
though. Yeah.
God
I think you
damn.
missed like 2 spells, but I'm not sure. I didn't keep track of those. Yeah.
Well,
Well
that was
done,
not so
sir.
bad.
Monk couldn't even come close. It took him much longer than it did to you. I think you're a pretty good trivia player. Like, you just have to work a little bit on the battle cries and stuff, and you'd be good to go.
when we were testing with Amazdi Joe Pardino, I was like, oh god, this is the worst moment ever. I had like minus 500 or something like this.
Oh, God. So, which card has blue in the bottom right corner? He's wearing a hat and a tie. Dun, 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 dun. There's none. Don't search.
Wait, what about
Gallywix?
Booty Master? No, the 5 mana 5/4 taunt.
I don't think he's wearing a hat. I think he's not wearing a hat, but Gallywix might work, actually. Now that I say that. He's wearing a tie?
But I
No,
think
he's not wearing a tie. He's just wearing gold chain.
Booty Bay,
Bodyguard.
Bodyguard. I think he has a tie.
Yeah, but he doesn't have a hat. But you're right. He does have a tie.
Yep.
Yeah. See, I wouldn't have remembered that. If Amaz had asked me which minion is wearing a tie, I wouldn't have figured it out. All right, we're gonna be 30 seconds away from the game, guys. You can finally stop listening to this trivia. You will finally be able to watch a game. This
No
is exactly
way.
what you came here for. You didn't come here for the
Exciting.
casters. I get that, but we're doing our best to keep you entertained in the meantime. So, Lifecoach versus RD will be coming up. For those of you who just tuned in, Lifecoach is going to be playing his Warlock, possibly a Handlock, and RDU is going to play his Rogue, from what we've been told. And right now, there's a little bit of a display problem.
No, I think it's okay.
Yeah, the class for RDU I don't think is very, I don't think is on. So we're going to be running into the game here. It says RDU is playing Hunter, but don't be mistaken. RDU is a genius. No, wait. BGH. He brought BGH against the planned handlock of Lifecoach. And he's got to be feeling pretty happy about that one.
I think Lifecoach has to change his strategy for other rounds. Like, you know.
Yeah. RDU is one step ahead right now. The mind theory is currently in the favor of RDU. He's got that BGH tech ready to go. Although it's not that uncommon to see it, it's just that
Oh, look.
sometimes...
Turn
yeah.
1. Oh, surprising.
So, for those of you who may not be familiar with what's going on, so Lifecoach is actually not AFK right now. He's just staring at his screen very intensely.
Yes. That's very
Yeah.
true.
So, you can stare at your screen very intensely if you want, you know, a little bit of insight as to how Lifecoach is feeling right now. All right, so he plays a zombie chow after a pretty long time of deliberation. And RDU thinks for about 0.2 seconds before daggering up.
That brings the balance, you know, between the two players.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wow.
Oh,
An
that's
MC tech.
he decked out Warlock, I would say.
Mm-hmm. Not something I expected very much here. So I like RDU's decision to ping the zombie chow to set up the Fan of Knives on the following turn. He gets pretty much all the health back -1, so it's really not a big problem for him.
Yeah. 1 mana for 1/2 creature. That's kinda not so good.
Mm-hmm. And he had no other play really anyway. Like it's he's trying to set up some kind of mid-game board. He's running Cold Bloods though. That's not a card I can say I've seen very frequently in Rogue nowadays. So maybe this is a mix between the deck that you mentioned earlier with Nirbar Weblords. Not Weblords, but the
Ambusher.
Nubian Ambushers, yeah.
Yeah. Well, we can't really say yet, but yeah, the Cold Blood, that's interesting.
Yeah, it's not something I've seen very frequently in Oil, but it might make it a bit burstier, especially if he's running Arcane Golems. So Lifecoach taking only 26 seconds to play his Twilight Drake with the coin.
I'm
really
actually
like that.
surprised. I'm actually surprised because I think the 4/9 Twilight Drake will be more intimidating to for the rogue.
But I think by not seeing the SI7 to kill a zombie chow, he figures there's no bodies that he can use to wipe my Drake. Maybe that's the line of thinking that's going on here.
Do you think there will be Defender August phase?
It could be, like, there's many lines of play he can take here, including a coil on the Violet Teacher, but he could be more aggressive. I mean, if he floods the board, MC Tech actually isn't too bad. It feels like they're both teching against one another. I don't know. This is weird.
Funny.
MC Tech.
I think when Lifecoach analyzes his hand, like he sees there's no AoE, he might clear the Violet Teacher.
Yeah,
it might
I
pose
think
a
that makes
problem
sense.
next turn.
No, exactly. I really like... I mean, if you don't clear and you don't have any AoE, you're leaving yourself vulnerable. Very vulnerable. And I mean, if the Drake gets sapped, that's just good for Lifecoach. He just gets it back into play, fully healed.
Well, he goes for the Defender Augur, so I'm actually surprised he didn't opt for a cycle, like double
coil?
cycle, right? With the coil and life tap. Conceal. What is
Okay,
going on?
RDU. Are you still playing Gadgets and Auctioneer, RDU? RDU.
Maybe. Wait, does RDU have a wooden stick in his hand? In his mouth?
Yeah,
English
yeah, he's kind of chewing on
What's
a wooden stick. It's for
what's the
stress,
English
you
name?
know. Toothpick?
Yeah, toothpick. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there you go.
Gangsta.
Gangsta mode. Alright, Deadly Poison is getting played to actually get rid of that Sludge Belcher. So that's gonna wipe the board, at least partially. It's gonna leave a little slime behind, but that's no problem. Oh, RDU's hand, I mean, if he's playing Gadgets and Auctioneer, he needs it pretty soon, though. Because this is a pretty boring hand, honestly. He's got an answer to a Giant, but I haven't seen a single Giant in Lifecoach's hand right now.
Maybe Lifecoach dropped the Giants.
Knowing that RDU would be metagaming him. You know what, this is too much mind games for me. I can't keep watching this. I can't keep watching this. Okay, this is definitely a mix of old school. It has to be something like Arcane Golems in here.
There will
with
be
Gadgets
Black
and-
Knight.
If a
There will be
Black Knight
Black
comes
Knight,
out
yeah.
here,
Black Knight and Shadow Step. Shadow Step is a great toolbox. The problem with that toolbox is that he lacks threats. And actually, now
Yeah.
Lifecoach pushes the rogue player into the ground with the like static 3 points of attack.
Yeah, doesn't even need giants. He's just using very straightforward minions to wear down his opponent, and that's kind of the weakness of Miracle Rogue, I think. And it was always that, is if you don't get your card draw, you're generally in a really awful spot. And the new Rogue also suffers from this with Prep Sprint, but they tend to run more minions. And now, seeing the Conceal here, I have to wonder what cards RDU had to cut to make this work.
Yeah, definitely agree. Well, there are a few options here. I think low tap is just fine, perfectly fine.
Yeah, it locks the Rogue from actually using any answers, even if she's got any, so... So
interesting.
I guess you just full heal. All right, so he doesn't want to load that. I guess
Okay,
he wants
so
to.
yeah, he wants to keep the full value of the low tap like in a crucial turn, and maybe Life Coach is like kinda getting to know RDU's deck here at this point.
Because if you don't see any minions at this point, you've got to be. It's either the guy has the worst draw ever, or he's just not playing the deck you thought he was playing. And so Life Coach might be making a read here that RDU is capable of just bringing back a little bit more of an old school Miracle type of deck to the table, and is playing around that right now, keeping a low sub for when it's going to be necessary. RDU not seeing any giants. Probably thinks Life Coach has some Moltons here that he can't use, but that would be wrong. Life Coach has plenty of cards that he can use. Another Sludge?
Yeah, I think so. Sludge Belcher and
you could even play Mind Control tech.
Nah, I don't think so. Actually, there was one Blade Flurry being already cast, right? So that Mind Control tech will be not so threatened by the second one when there's Deadly Poison already on board. Second Cold Blood, well, that's a dead draw.
I mean, what you could do now is you could prep Cold Blood the Sludge, attack it with your face, and BGH it, sorry, and then attack the slime if necessary. Like, it's such a bad play. Or you know what? You prep Cold Blood the Sludge, then you Cold Blood it. Again, then you attack it, then you escape concede faster than Life Coach can see the move.
Well, this sucks. This really sucks.
He's doing it. He's conceal Cold Blood BGHing.
Oh.
I'm telling you, man. Does he shadow step the BGH to keep back?
This is so bad.
I can't look at this. Oh, this is terrible. Oh my god, he does. Oh, RDU.
Oh, this. I don't know.
Sorry.
How can he come back from that? And
he might Cold Blood the 3-3 and then replay the BGH. No, okay, he doesn't. I will send a letter of to your family, RDU. You are currently 6 feet under the ground, and we are sorry. We apologize. And now Lothab comes down. Now Life Coach is like, wait, I know what's in his hand. He's got a BGH. He can't play any spells. There's no way I lose this. And he's right. He's totally right.
So RDU lost the first game because he teched so much cards.
Well, he just wanted to play Miracle. I'm just wondering what the rest of his deck was.
Yeah, well, he didn't draw anything.
Well, he's still alive, right?
6, and there's no bursts in hand, so yeah, most likely yes. Oh, Kel'Thuzad. Oh.
You just replay it because...
Well,
play Kel'Thuzad and you trade.
Yeah, you just play Kel'Thuzad, trade. Again, in the life tap, you're at 30. What do you even care? There's one card in your opponent's hand.
Whoa, Voidwalker. I like that. So was he taking against aggro more so than anything else?
I think so. Both players were taking out, and I think Life Coach won this.
Life Coach's handlock is gonna take this first game for sure. Oh, there are minions in RDU's deck. He just had a really, really dead draw.
Yeah, that card draw was really awful.
Definitely. Well, we saw a Cold Blood BGH, so that was kind of fun at least. But a very one-sided game all the way through.
Yeah.
So RDU is going to lose this first one. His Rogue is not eliminated. This is Conquest format, so Life Coach will not be able to play his Warlock again. We know that
I
he's
think
got...
that's great for him.
And Druid.
I think that's great for Lifecoach, just to lock that Warlock as soon as possible.
Get it out of the way and make sure that... I mean, if he actually feels comfortable with Mech Mage, that's going to be one of his possible follow-ups.
Well, we have to think that this Rogue deck has to win against Druid and Mage.
That's right, actually. This Rogue deck that RDU has needs to win against... I mean, Mage and Druid are beatable, but the thing is that the deck that he had, I'm not too sure what exactly it contains. Because between the Shadow Step and the Conceal, and the double Cold Blood, I have to assume there's at least an Arcane Golem for some sort of burst finisher. And
maybe.
Yeah, you would probably need to go find an amazing amount of damage there to do that.
I'm really sad that we don't see Lifecoach cam. I don't know why. He always has his cam on, so...
Yeah, maybe his computer's acting a little wonky. He had to reboot before we started the stream.
Too bad.
Yeah. So RDU, we are told, is going to pick his Hunter next, and Lifecoach, after winning with his Warlock, is going to be moving on to his Druid. So Druid versus Hunter. I wonder if RDU is going to be bringing a Face Hunter or more.
No, I think RDU will bring a midrange. Like he almost always plays the midrange Hunter.
All right. Well, you know them better than I do. They're on your team, so I will trust you on that one. Although I haven't seen him play much hyper-aggressive decks, even in the past. Yeah.
That's true. So we're going in a few seconds into the game.
Yeah, so Hunter, is it a Golden Hunter? We're gonna see.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, wow.
And a Golden Druid.
Okay, that's Golden Druid. Lifecoach has some time on his hands.
Swag.
Oh my god.
Will there be a Golden Coin also? And there's a Big Gun Hunter in the Hunter.
No, did I see a Kazan Mystic and Druid? Did they? Are you sure they did? They share deck lists with one another? There's no way this is actually a thing.
They are so decked out. That's that's impossible.
And RDU, oh my goodness! And the worst part is, this is the only deck RDU has that could possibly contain a trap. Like, the only deck that could contain a trap is the Hunter, and Lifecoach says, "I'm gonna go for Druid. I've got a Kazan Mystic tech. I'm good for this."
You know what was RDU's game plan? To have Big Gun Hunters every single deck and beat the Warlock every single time with each deck.
Yeah.
And that didn't pan out.
Uh-oh. So let's see what... well, this is turn 1, so we have to wait at least a solid 45 seconds.
That was the Golden Coin and the Wild Grove.
Yeah, the battle of the golden classes.
Yeah, but you're playing the Wild Grove on turn 2 anyway. I don't think there's merit to coin out Wild Grove here.
The only time where it's relevant is when you Wrath turn 2. Well, with 3 mana, and then you swipe the spiders off.
Okay, Lifecoach disagrees. So his plan is to use Wrath or Hero Power on turn 2. This way.
Yeah, that's it. You Wrath the Haunted Creeper turn 2, and then you swipe stuff out on turn, like, almost turn 3.
Mm-hmm.
It's something you can do. It's a line of play that I like. That Glaive Zuka from RDU, though. He doesn't even have to put anything more on the board, and that Web Spinner is going to deal 4 damage total if Lifecoach decides to use his hero power.
Yeah, he has to. Like, there's no way he will use the Wrath for Web Spinner.
Nope. But now Lifecoach could be thinking that RDU is playing a more aggressive deck, because Glaive Zuka is not necessarily included in mid-range decks.
Mm-hmm. I agree. But on the other hand... Okay, I'm totally wrong. He is using the Wrath.
Yeah, he's afraid of it being, I think, a Face Hunter, probably. Ooh, Paladin, Sky Golem and Druid, I like you.
Lifecoach is just loving this card, you know?
It's a crazy value card.
It's great in Paladin when he drops Alkanai. And then you lay on hands for 8 points of damage. And drawing 3 cards.
Keeper of the Grove here just takes care of the Raptor very easily. I mean, you do lose it to the Lepernome plus weapon, but it's really not that bad, is it? No, I don't think it's that terrible. Yeah, you can keep the Grove here. You just make sure that Grove is safe from Raptors and other types of beasts. Alright, RDU Snap plays a Powder Shredder, which I think, you know, it's one of those cards with such high value. It leads to some really fun games. I think we got a Doomsayer last time. I'd like to see more Doomsayers coming out of that thing.
Yeah.
Usually tends to be the most awesome card.
Too bad for Lifecoach that there's no trap at all for now. But the swipe feels good. Anyway.
Yeah, depending on what comes out of here. So is it a piloted, not a piloted, but a... Oh, what?
Boom shakalaka, Lifecoach would say.
Oh, wow, the ooze. Another ooze. I like ooze. Everybody likes ooze. Man, actually, RDU's hand right now is probably as dry as it could be against a druid. This double unleash is not what he wants to see.
RDU is not drawing well in this match at all.
The Nourish from Lifecoach.
Ja, ich habe die besten Karten hier.
I'm actually surprised because I haven't seen much Nourish. Is it a card he favors much?
Yeah, he likes
in
it.
general? Okay. I guess when you have like an almost dead hand, it can actually make your late... Yeah, that's right. It makes your late game legendaries that are stuck in your hand if you have a dry hand playable next turn, so really not that terrible. Alright, RDU getting 2 hounds off that unleash. It's actually not that bad. He's gonna opt to go face. Thinks about trading the 2-1 to maybe prevent the swipe after the spiders popped. And I think that's a pretty viable play, but the 6-4 can do that anyway. And there we go. Full-on aggression here by RDU, who recognizes that he can't fight the fight without Savannah high mains. He's gonna have to go face here and hope for the best.
Definitely.
As you said, there are players who know when to turn the tides, or at least when to push for damage, when to go for tempo. And Lifecoach, I mean RDU right now just doing exactly that, ignoring the board, realizing that even if he wanted, without a Savannah high main, there is no fighting for the board here.
He has to heal, that's definitely the option, but you have to go face with the 6 points of damage, and oh wow, he chooses to go face with everything.
So he's gonna threaten the Savage Roar, and RDU might feel threatened by it, so much so that he aims to trade at this point. It's possible. He's not, like, the health of his opponent is not low enough that he can just ignore everything.
Well,
so
Misha
if there is a
definitely
Savage Roar...
helping here. I swiped up the deck would be insane.
One has been played, so you can't really play around it. But yes, definitely, that would make it like that would just demolish RDU's board right now.
And what's the draw? Low tip. Okay.
There is no taunt in Lifecoach's board right now, so honestly, if RDU can just keep ignoring the board, he could push for lethal soon.
So that's 4 points of damage remaining after Misha being killed, and that's the weapon. So that's 7, 9 with the hero power. So if Lifecoach fears the skill command, he has to push for low tap and hero power up, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much it. You wanted to deny that and maybe get yourself a lethal sooner than your opponent can get it.
Maybe
I do like it.
The Beacon Hunter even.
Let's see what comes out of this. A Houndmaster. Oh, the irony.
Yeah, he wanted to get a taunt from that.
Yeah, get a Senjin or yeah. Is there anything else on 4 really that's played besides the Arcane Nullifier and Senjin?
Arcane Nullifier, didn't even think about that. Well, he plays the Big Game Hunter, as I said. This might be the case here.
Yeah, he is just pushing for lethal here, or at least trying to push for lethal sooner than his opponent can get it. And that Knife Juggler, he would have loved an Unleash, but that Lotheb locking down everything.
So that's 2 points of lethal. And now it pushes RDU back into the position when he has to defend himself.
Yeah.
Because even when he kills the Big Game Hunter, he's being threatened by those 3 creatures just to push for 14 points of damage.
Yeah, so he's gonna have to use 3 hounds on the 4/3. I mean, I guess you could use 2 of them and then you unleash just for straight up hounds to get as many as possible. Because if you don't use unleash the hounds, you're gonna be left with nothing. Yep, and so he's gonna hope. Funny enough, actually, Lifecoach does not have lethal off the hand. RDU is gonna hope that his opponent does not have a swipe. He knows that he doesn't have a swipe, otherwise he would have used it when Misha was up. So now he's hoping there's no Druid of the Claw.
Funny enough, Lifecoach has a lethal. But
well, that's it.
If Lifecoach didn't draw the Force of Nature, RDU didn't have lethal either.
Yeah, it was gonna come down to getting Ironbeak skill command to the face. So ultimately, RDU is going to lose this game to Lifecoach's Druid. It was actually an interesting race. RDU's draw was pretty dry. There were no Savannah Highmanes, which are probably one of the most important cards when you transition into that mid-late game, which lets you just keep applying pressure. It threatens, the unspoken rule of if Savannah hits you in the face once, you've lost the game. That still applies at nowadays. If it does stick on the board long enough to hit you once, you're going to be in a pretty big problem.
Yep, I agree. And Lifecoach takes 2-0 lead over RDU here. Very interesting matches. Like I think when you see their deck choices, they're both taking out against each other, and that's super interesting because they know each other so much that they can predict what will the opposing player bring.
Yeah, I mean, Lifecoach teched with the Kazan Mystic. I guess in case of Mage or in case of a Hunter,
yeah.
But he didn't even get to use it. Even though Hunter might have been playing traps, there were none that he could actually steal with Kazan Mystic. So he took the game anyway and did pretty well. But I think if a Savannah Highmane had been in RDU's hand, this game might have turned out a bit differently.
Yeah,
the Savannah Highmane would have been very, very strong here in this position.
Yeah. So Lifecoach is left with his mage deck, which is, in his words, the best deck out there. So I think he has to feel comfortable in this situation.
Confident, yeah. So if you're RDU, knowing that there is the only deck that your opponent is playing, which deck do you bring against it? You've got a Rogue that you could use, you've got your Hunter that you could use, and you've got your Druid that you could use. I don't think Druid is exactly a deck I'd pick to counter Mage.
Can we even pick a deck when he brings like Big Game Hunter, Cold Blood, Shadow Steps, Rogue?
You know what? Never mind. Okay, so I assume because of the way his Rogue is built.
Okay, Hunter for RDU.
I think it's gonna be Hunter for RDU.
Yeah,
makes too much sense.
Hunter.
Yeah, the Rogue has its 2 combo E to actually fight off the constant flow of aggression from Mage, and the Druid is not exactly a very favorite deck here. So picking Hunter is a very safe bet.
Yeah, agree. So we'll have to see. RDU has quite an opening hand here. I can't really put the archetype.
Wait. Apparently the game's not going on right now.
Oh, there's a bug of the spectator mode, right?
Yeah, spectator mode is currently glitching out because of what it is. I guess it just glitches once in a while. It's no problem. We'll just get back in the game real quick. Apparently RDU and Lifecoach are already getting their game underway.
Yeah, there's update on the client.
An update on the client? Oh wow, mid-game. That sounds good.
Yeah, very good.
Alright, we're about to respectate. It shouldn't be long.
Yeah.
Do not picnic Twitch
chat. For
chat.
now, turn 1 for Lifecoach was a Clockwork Gnome, and for RDU it was a coin Hunt Creeper.
Yeah, pretty good answer, I'd say.
Yeah, definitely.
Not amazing in case of an Oyotron, but it's pretty solid.
Okay, we got the gameplay. Woohoo! Hooray! Oh, there's a great answer for that Hunted Creeper. Well, maybe not great, but still, an Oyotron is better than nothing.
Well, actually, an Oyotron is amazing in this position. It's probably one of the best possible cards that he could have gotten. The amount of... It actually stops the aggression from... It will stop the aggression from RDU.
So Lifecoach is just waiting patiently for the rope to arrive.
And then it's going to drop an Oyotron or Snow Trigger.
Oh, he goes for the Snow Trigger, interesting enough. So
for the bow denial, I guess?
Yeah, I think so. He saw that the coin was used, so he's sure that there will be no weapon on turn 2.
Yeah, and if there was a weapon, it would have to be Glaive Zuka, which means the opponent still freezes himself in the process, which you're okay with. Now, that's a pretty nice line of play here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, none of the minions that RDU has right now really are awesome. I mean, the Leper Gnome just gets pinged away.
I don't think it's even Midrange Hunter.
No, but that's the thing. That's the thing. I'm thinking about what it is, and based on what we saw last game, I'm starting to think it's more of a hybrid between both archetypes. All right, this display here from RDU is pretty solid. It forces the opponent to ping if he wants to get maximum value, and if he doesn't ping, he still can't freeze your face. And if he pings you, he doesn't have mana to follow up with anything unless he got lucky and has a second Clockwork Gnome, which he anyway would be sacrificing into your 1/1. So really nice line of play here from RDU.
Yep, totally agree. But the life coach on the other hand, I think he has to go with the spider tank.
It's sturdy enough that it won't die to anything but a bow or some kind of hunter's mark. And anyway, he's gonna the opponent is gonna keep 2 minions no matter what you do. I mean, Annoyotron is not that terrible either. It does stop everything. I think Annoyotron might be even slightly better, tanking 2 minions at once.
The problem is that Lifecoach wants to get a mech on board for turn 4 for the Blast Mage to have maximum impact on the board. And if he attacks into the owl, well, you know, with the weapon we know that RDU has a whole board clear here.
Yeah, he would have had it even with an Annoyotron, so ultimately there shouldn't be, unless RDU picks another line of play, there shouldn't be any mech, like Blast Mage value at the moment.
Yeah. So he has to go for the
insane,
clear.
actually. Like, Mech Mage is probably carried a lot by the Blast Mage's ability to get so much damage packed in one card. A 5/4 for 4 is a pretty decent body when you consider Sludge Belcher in the metagame. You can proactively answer a Sludge, and you even get to clear out minions that were there previously.
Or just damage to the face.
Yeah, which is also, you know, it accomplishes your game plan as a Mech Mage, so I like that.
When you think about it, when there's no creatures on board and you just go with a 4 times ping to the face, it's like 2/3 of a fireball.
Yeah, and the worst part is, I mean, not the worst part, but the sad part is that other decks that are trying mech right now, I know Lifecoach had a win streak yesterday with some kind of mech warrior, what he was playing on ladder, but a lot of classes trying out mech simply don't have an equivalent to something like a Blast Mage, unfortunately.
I really like this display. Buffing the Annoyotron to 2 points of attack when he still has the shield intact.
Yeah, that way if he attacks with a weapon, you're at least guaranteed 2.
Yep.
No matter what happens. RDU's hand is looking pretty combo-y. All he's got is a Knife Juggler and an Unleash the Hounds. But that Blast Mage, it's about to unleash the value. Is there any other line of play than attacking with a 3/2 and triggering Freezing Trap?
No, I don't think so.
I mean, do
He
you
even
attack?
wants to check the snake traps, you know?
Yeah, since you have Mech Mage, Blast Mage. I need to stop saying Mech Mage. If you have Blast Mage, it's not really that big of a problem. Lifecoach not going to fall for the trap of denying himself the Blast Mage value and attacking with an Annoyotron first.
And
He's gonna give it a shot. Even if it whiffed, though, the Annoyotron's shield could have still taken out whatever minion was left, so that would have been fine. But this is probably the best case scenario for him at the moment. A kill command's going to be a pretty interesting card here to use to, you know, take out that 5/4. You can't afford getting hit in the face for 5 every turn by a Mech Mage.
That Blast Mage is just insane. Like, when you think about it, he just killed creatures and eat a skill command.
Yeah, it's an insane card. It's insanely budgeted. It contains an arcane missile and more on its own.
With spell power.
Like, think of Avenging Wrath. Now think of this and ask yourself how it's even possible. It's crazy. It comes on a stick as well. Like, it's got a body to go with it. That deals with one of the most important... he got... Well, this Knife Juggler Unleash is gonna be not too bad at this point.
That's five knives.
Yep, with the Hunted Creeper popping up. It'll be a huge amount.
Oh no, second to the face? Oh, okay. Almost. Oh, that's unlucky.
Alright, so he pops up the Shredder and out comes a Stinging.
No, he can target the allies. I mean the minions. Oh, that's
no,
insane.
The mage can target minions. What are we gonna do? Alright, so Dr. Boom on curve for the mage, I think is a pretty straightforward play. Do you remove the Knife Juggler? I think you have to, just because it's a safe bet. I mean, you're so far ahead at this point that you might as well play it safe and not risk your opponent having another, getting more value out of that Unleash the Hounds. The Boom bots kill the spider. That's not what you want to see.
Oh, that's awful.
Ugh, and that kill command. If the spider hadn't died, he might have been able to get a kill command value. Do you really
great drop here?
Yeah, I don't think you really care too much, actually. Now that I look at it, it doesn't care too much about that freezing trap. Getting back Dr. Boom is pretty much irrelevant, even if you do attack into it.
Yeah, you just use that for Mech Warper, and that's it. You got lethal next turn. So RDU has to use the skill command this turn, and well, I don't feel there's a way RDU can come back from this game.
Yeah, unless there's some kind of special Deathwing tech that's coming up, I don't see how RDU is supposed to be taking this game away from his opponent.
And Deathwing is still 2 turns away.
He kills the Mech Warper to prevent the freezing trap from whiffing, and that should be... Actually, this is game. You attack with a 6-4, and you're actually able to get the lethal with your hero power. Exact lethal with Fireball and Doctor Balanced. So... Yep. Well played. It's probably going to be coming out from RDU here. Lifecoach going 3-0 against RD.
Lifecoach run is just incredible. This year, his win ratio on tournaments is above 70%.
Yeah, that can't possibly be sustainable, can it?
Well, we'll have to see.
We never know. But this is crazy. We'll have to see how it goes in the next tournaments. But another sweep.
Another sweep
on this day too. Hey,
I
there's a cat.
Nihilum here.
There's a cat on your table.
Oh, sorry guys.
It's fine.
I don't know
matter.
Whose cat is it.
Oh yeah, okay. That is very reassuring. So there's a cat on my table, and I'm not exactly sure who it is. All right, so another sweep in the tournament. That's the third today.
Yeah,
that's the third sweep today.
Sweep.
So we're 3 sweeps into the tournament, into the day today. RDU is not going to get any tiebreaker points. You know, this is a round robin. I've mentioned it before 25,000 times. But tiebreaker points matter, and he got none of them. So Lifecoach's deck, I mean, both players seem to have a very tech-heavy lineup. They both seem to. I can't speak to this.
They do, but the problem is that I think RDU just teched out too much.
That's possible.
That was the problem. Like, he was so ahead of the meta that he was just 2 footsteps behind.
Yeah, it's the same thing as, like, you know, when you think you make a deck and you say, I think my opponent knows that I know that he knows. If you think 1 step too far, you're essentially 2 steps behind. Which is exactly the situation here, possibly the same situation. But we have to admit, you know, RDU's draw in that Hunter game without someone a high main, things could have been very different versus the Druid from Lifecoach.
Well, his rogue draw was also awful. Awful. Yeah. Really awful.
We still don't know what the point of it or the goal of it was in everything. Like, we didn't get to see Gadgetsan or Arcane Golems or anything along those lines. So maybe the core of the deck, they didn't even get drawn at that point.
Yeah, well, you know, happens. RDU and Lifecoach have 8 matches ahead of them, so it's still a long road ahead of them to win the whole groups here. And I wanted to ask you, do you think someone will sweep the whole group? I mean, you know, 9-0.
And 9-0 in the entire round robin?
Yeah.
I don't think that's likely. I mean, on ladder, even the top players lose games, and this is because of the Conquest format, something along those lines. I mean, winning 9-0 would essentially mean... but then again, you can afford to lose some games, right?
Yeah, you can
afford to lose some games, but you can't lose matches. So it is possible, actually, that somebody... It's more likely than just, you know, going for a straight 9-0... like 9-0 games.
9 games free too, you know?
Yeah, exactly. But that's definitely possible. It is possible that somebody does that. And they're just going to end up first, which is going to put them directly in the semifinals of the playoffs. So that'd be kind of cool for them.
Yeah.
Unless there's a tiebreaker there.
You want to type a person who can do this?
I can't. I mean, I think Zixo is going to end up at 6-0. But I don't know if it's going to go 9-0.
9-0. Then he has to change his nickname.
He has to change his name. That doesn't work anymore.
It's still working because he got 2 X's and now he will get like two
Ends. Yeah, just like 9-0. He changed from 6-0 to 9-0, and that's pretty solid.
Okay, he has to do it. If he goes 9-0 in the groups, we have to push him to change the nickname from 6-0 to 9-0.
Archon 9-0. I think I'm down with that, but I'm not the one with the name, so I'm not responsible. So this is it for the match. We're already 3 matches in for the day. So next match we're going to be having is Savich versus Strifecrow. That promises to be a battle of the titans. These 2 players, very interesting players, known to play decks that take generally a lot, like that could have a lot of they have a big decision tree, where many lines of play can be taken at multiple turns, and if 2 players are playing that is guaranteed to be interesting games.
Yep. Okay, so now we can take a quick break, and we'll be right back.